Live from Fargo and serving you on TV, online, and on the go. This is Valley News Live at 6.
A Discovery Middle School student in Fargo has been suspended indefinitely and also charged with possession of a concealed weapon after school leaders say they found a BB gun in the student's backpack.
A parent called the school saying that their child had a suspicion that the gun was in the backpack of another student. Administration found an unloaded CO2 BB pistol in the backpack of that student's locker.
Watch for more information on this on valleynewslive.com.
A Dilworth man is dead after the vehicle he was driving struck a train this morning. It happened around 11 o'clock, about 2 miles south of Buxton. Investigators say that the man was driving a Mack truck on a Trail County Township road and did not yield for the BNSF train. The track struck the semi on its passenger side. The name of the man is expected to be released tomorrow.
Faculty members pleaded their case today in hopes that MSUM would not cut their positions.
Several teachers have been told that they will lose their jobs at the end of the school year. Valley News Team's Joshua Pagero explains whether the school changed its mind.
Matthew Craig has been trying to put some faculty members at ease since news broke of cuts at Minnesota State University Moorhead.
I understand their pain and I understand their frustration.
Craig is MSUM's union president for the Interfaculty Organization.
Ideally, we'd see all of the temporary positions converted to permanent positions, but unfortunately, sometimes they are ended instead, and we will do what we can to support those faculty. And
emails obtained by Valley News Live show the proposed cuts fall across several departments. The university says the cuts add up to about 16 jobs for the next academic year.
State support for higher education has gone down, and that's made it increasingly challenging for us to try to maintain the breadth of programs that we once had.
Craig says MSUM has been making cuts over the last several years. What frustrates teachers the most is that these decisions are coming late in the year and won't give those impacted time to find a new job. While most students are already gone for the holiday break, those that are still on campus that we spoke to say they're surprised by the university's decision.
Fewer professors on campus for people to learn from and talk to will definitely affect education for those graduating and just coming in. Having those mentors, having those people here is always a benefit.
Other students say MSUM should look elsewhere in the budget instead of axing teachers. In Moorhead, Joshua Pagero, Valley News Live.
MSUM also says some of the positions being eliminated are already vacant. The university has yet to announce which departments will be facing cuts.
Still a bit cold out there today, but we know that warm-up will show up soon, right? And we're ready for it. Here's Hutch with your No Way weather. Hutch?
Thanks so much, Andrea. The thermometer says the warm-up is here. We are in the teens after starting out last night in the teens and 20s below zero. So we have warmed up. A few clouds out there. The coolest weather remains off to the east, where it is 9 in Bemidji, 13 in Thief River Falls, and temperatures still slowly climbing over the last hour's readings here in the valley and points east. Look at the warmth out to the west. 20s in the James River Valley, 30s in the central Dakotas. With the wind, though, it still feels brisk out there. Sub-zero wind chills in the FM area this evening. The wind should gradually taper off between now and bedtime tonight, with temperatures that will be steady for the early evening under partly to mostly cloudy skies, near 10 in Grand Forks this evening. So, yes, warmer than below zero. We do have a few growing pains to talk about as we head towards a nice warm-up for the weekend. I'll have all those details and look ahead toward the holiday travel forecast in a moment.
All right, thanks, Hutch.
A Fargo mom is asking for your help after her car was stolen last night in the 2600 block of 15th Street South. That theft only adds to a year of loss for Kristen Sandy after her son, 7-year-old Jason Devine, was killed 9 months ago in a drunken car accident. Sandy says, along with car seats inside, 2 crosses belonging to her grandfather and Jason were taken. 2 things she says make her feel like she's protected.
That car was everything to me, you know, the last thing that I have of my grandpa. And the fact that somebody could just be so cold-hearted in a matter of seconds, minutes, and poof, it's gone.
The car is a white Toyota Camry with decals in memory of Jason in the back window, and Sandy is offering a $500 reward for the return of her car and the items.
A Horace man who was arrested back in 2018 after barricading himself in a house and a 4-hour standoff with police has pleaded guilty. 51-year-old Lance Bellegarde took a guilty plea for felony terrorizing, burglary, and felonious restraint. Police say in March of 2018, Bellegarde forced himself into a home in the 7100 block of 100th Avenue South in Horace with a gun. The man and woman inside were able to get out of the home safely. His sentencing is scheduled for next May.
Granite City Food and Brewery has filed for Chapter 11 bankruptcy. Granite City first opened in June of 1999 in St. Cloud, Minnesota. Since then, the chain has expanded to 13 states, including their location off of 42nd Street in Fargo.
Dozens of schools in Minnesota are reporting outbreaks of the flu this week. Officials with the Minnesota Department of Health say last week, 14 schools reported outbreaks.
This week, they expect that number to quadruple. Lauren Lemanzik has more.
Saturday is when the fever hit. It got up to 103, and he still had it until yesterday morning.
Jonah Elia was one of 100 kids sick with the flu at Shakopee's Sunpath Elementary School. His mom, Katie, has it too.
Yeah.
At nearby West Middle School, more than 300 kids are out sick.
We've got several neighbors that are home today too, so it's definitely around.
They are among dozens of schools in Minnesota dealing with an early flu outbreak.
It appears that they're plateauing, and that we're somewhat relieved by. We still feel for those poor kids that are homesick.
Shakopee's superintendent says they're wiping down surfaces and urging kids to stay home if they're sick, but the early start has him worried.
What will happen next? Is this the start of additional spikes or increases?
At Hennepin Healthcare, Dr. Krishnan Subramanian sees a big increase in kids coming in with the flu.
This year we're seeing flu B, and why that's important is flu B, we know, tends to spread a little bit more quickly amongst young people.
Perhaps the reason for the school outbreaks. So what about the flu shot? Katie and Jonah both had theirs, and they're sick. Does it work this year?
It worked if it kept you out of the ICU and out of the hospital. The flu vaccine actually helps with strain A and B. 2 versions of flu A, 2 versions of flu B. So we feel pretty confident in this year's flu vaccine.
Katie agrees it helped.
I still think it's worth it because I do believe that I'm in better shape than I would have been if I hadn't.
Officials add it's possible the flu season could peak much earlier than normal.
Later on Valley News Live at 6.
My goodness, this is very unexpected. On behalf of all of the families on your route, we thank you for all you do for our kids. Merry Christmas. Happy New Year.
One school bus driver was hit with some Christmas giving this morning. The emotional surprise is minutes away.
And as we started our day, sub-zero temperatures in the north. But we've been warming since. I'll have details on how warm we get next.